My name is Alexandra, no I, and this is an audio chronicling of 40 reflections in the 40 days leading up to my 40th birthday. While I am speaking from my own perspective, I invite you to join me in reflecting, implore you to share with friends who may also benefit from this type of reflection, and simply extend the offering of an opportunity to be your best and most authentic self. Episodes in this 40 and 40 series will typically be less than 15 minutes and end with a question for you to ask of yourself. Please subscribe and return to join me in this journey as we build momentum along the way. Here we go. I have noticed that every time I mention and then recommend The Five Love Languages by Gary Chapman to somebody, I, talk about it. I'll recommend the book, but sometimes I'll just go ahead and send them the quiz from the website and encourage them to take it. When I do that, the last few times for sure, I go ahead and take it again myself. And it's been interesting to note that a few things have shifted when did I first take it? I think I first heard about the book maybe 2009, 2010 or so, somewhere between 2009 and 2010. And the first time I took it, my primary love language was quality time, closely followed by physical touch. And then those were the only two that I really paid attention to, but gifts was like last. It was 0%. And a few years ago, I remember I had a piece of furniture that I had brought home, and typically I can be pretty handy, and I've put together most, things that have required assembly over the years. But this particular item came with no instructions. So I had it for quite some time before it was assembled. And I had a coworker that I was friendly with who, like so many people, has a whole bunch of side hustles. And one of his was he would do carpentry type stuff. So, a perfect person to ask to put something together that didn't come with instructions. And I remember when he came over, mind you, this is not someone I was attracted to at all. But as he was putting it together, I was thinking to myself, I think I can see why women appreciate men who are, handy and who can put things together. And also, in the context of this, doing something that I was not equipped to do, it was something I appreciated. So, acts of service, when other people talk about it, I do have some friends for whom it is a primary love language or possibly secondary, but I can understand it even though it's not that high on my personal list. Something that did surprise me, though, is that when I took the assessment last year, I found that words of affirmation, and it might have actually been at the top of this year, but words of affirmation had crept up. I don't recall the exact percentage at the time, but it definitely had crept up. I'll say it was in third place, and it stood out to me because I did not recall it being that close to the top before. So today I did, had a similar conversation and shared the assessment with somebody who was not previously familiar with it. And then I proceeded to take it myself so that I could share my own results and we could talk about them. And now my results are that quality time is still my number one. It's 37%. But now physical touch and words of affirmation are tied for number two, both at 27%. Gifts is still 0%. What's the other one? Oh, acts of service, which kind of lets you know that it's still not like super high on my list, but I can appreciate it. Of course, for me personally, it does not offset spending actual time with me, but in a way it does create time, which in the grand scheme of my life is helpful because I do tend to fill up my calendar, which is absolutely something I am working on and will be, I've been thinking about that too, so there may be an episode about that coming. But what about you? Have you read The 5 Love Languages? If you're not familiar with it, it is similar. Well, okay. The premise is not similar to Chicken Soup of the Soul. But when I say that it's similar to Chicken Soup of the Soul, I mean that there was one book with an original premise, but then it expanded to kind of encompass different types of like applications. So it's primarily about couples and how they how individuals in a couple understand receiving love and also the demonstration of love. But the series has expanded. There's love languages in friendship, love languages, for your children and familial relationships, languages of appreciation in the workplace. So in that sense, it has expanded as a series. But I do recommend the book. I will let you know that it is kind of dry because Gary Chapman is a psychologist by trade. And so it does have kind of like an academic tone. But the information is useful and it's not a long read. But if you just kind of want to get to the heart of it, you can Google 5 love languages, like quiz or assessment or what have you, and you can find it. It's, I don't know exactly how many questions it is, and I won't try to guess, but it doesn't take that long to do. And it can be insightful. And as I am pointing out, even if you've taken it before, go ahead and take it again and see if anything has changed for you.